Hello and welcome to BlueTube, where we talk all things blue, and welcome back to another installment of Transfer Talk, the second week of this 2016 January transfer window. And of course, the first week there were a bunch of rumors, lots of crazy rumors about big players, including John Stones, Alex Texeira, even Hazard and Bale. Crazy rumors flying around. And this week did not disappoint either. Tons of rumors flying around. And before I actually talk about some of the transfers of players that are being rumored, I want to start with Drogba, because I think this potentially could be the greatest deal to happen this transfer window, even though he's not going to come back as a player. And by the way, guys, as always, all the links to the articles that I'm going to show here are in the description down below, so you guys can go read them to find out in more depth about them. But of course, I will try to explain to you in as much detail as possible. But this has been reported since ever since Hiddink came back. Didier Drogba returning as like an assistant managerial role. But there was the whole thing with his retirement, and of course he didn't retire yet, guys, which I should say. But with Montreal and the MLS contract and a bunch of legal reasons. But he was spotted at Stamford Bridge this Wednesday in our game against West Brom, which we did draw 2-2. But by the way, that was a great game to watch. And I think I genuinely enjoyed watching that. But anyway, he was there in Stamford Bridge. So maybe things are progressing. Maybe, every day it seems like it gets more probable that he will be joining Chelsea. And I would love to see him return to Chelsea, if you get what I mean. But now let's get to some of the players. Let me just move my mouse. There we go. And this is actually not a player transfer, rather a renewal of the contract. Of course, the article says Ivanovic is set to sign a new one-year contract, but actually it's been confirmed. It is definite. He has signed a new one-year contract with the option to extend it to another year after that if his performances deserve it. So there's that. And a lot of Chelsea fans have had mixed reactions about this, actually. But to be honest, I'm actually happy about this, because he is a quality player, but he also brings leadership and so many things outside the pitch, outside the football game. He brings so much more. So I'm personally happy about this. I know that a lot of Chelsea fans aren't, but I think for me, next season, if Ivanovic is still the first choice right back, then maybe I would be a little bit edgy. I think we should try to bring in Baba Rahman into the team. We should try to bring in some new, young, quick players. And I still want Ivanovic there, but maybe not having as prominent a role as he has had this season. But by the way, this season I think he's playing pretty well. Even though he has a lack of pace and maybe his positioning is sometimes questionable, I do think he's had a decent season so far. And that's a very controversial opinion, and I understand that. But I'm personally happy about this. But this brings into question some things about Chelsea's behavior. Firstly, Ola Aina, who is a very young fullback. I think he plays right back preferably, but he has played left back before, I think. And he was with us this preseason, Ola Aina. And he played pretty well, and I was pretty impressed by him. And I was disappointed to see him go out on loan and not be involved. But apparently his contract expires at the end of this season, so it expires this summer, and Chelsea are not planning to renew it. So this brings into question, why are we re-signing Ivanovic, but letting go of a young, promising fullback? And that's what some of the Chelsea fans have been saying as well, and I personally don't understand that as well. And apparently Ola Aina could be joining Arsenal on a free transfer next season, which would be terrible. It would just be horrific to see. But also, this is the big question for me. If Chelsea are willing to offer Ivanovic a new contract, why haven't we offered John Terry another contract yet? And I know some people are going to say, he's not the same player that he was before. He's not as good. But guess what? He's actually still sensational. If you watch any of our games, you'll see his tackles are impeccable. The timing, the strength, is just everything about him is so perfect. His positioning, his leadership. And without him, Chelsea would be a completely different team. Mark my words right now. And I am actually appalled that Chelsea have given Ivanovic a new contract but there's been nothing said about handing John Terry a new contract. I really hope that he does re-sign a new contract, because as I said, Chelsea would be completely different without John Terry. So, you know, mixed feelings about this, but as I said, on the whole, I'm quite happy that Ivanovic is extending his contract at Chelsea. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, as I understand this is quite a controversial topic. But let's get into... No, I'm kidding. Jokes. I'm not going to talk about specific players yet. But this is some big news in football that happened. By the way, speaking of big news in football, Messi won the Ballon d'Or. I'm sure you've heard of that. Moving on. This week, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid have been handed a transfer ban for a season. So they have a ban for 2016 summer and 2017 winter. They're banned. And this brings into big questions, as it says here. David De Gea and Eden Hazard. Of course, David De Gea, that's not really relevant to us, so I'm not going to talk about it. But Eden Hazard, this is big. This is huge in my opinion, which is why I've included this in here. And be sure to read this. It's very interesting. It's very similar to what FIFA charged Barcelona of last season or so. And that's why Barcelona got a transfer ban, of course. Well, was it 2 seasons ago? I don't know. But it's because of, you know, transfers of under 18 players and they did something wrong. I'm not sure about the specifics. As I said, it's linked in the description down below. But what this does mean is that Real Madrid will not be able to sign Eden Hazard in summer 2016 or in winter 2017. Which means that Hazard will probably not leave Chelsea, because there have been a lot of reports of Hazard leaving. And of course, you could still say maybe he's going to go to Barcelona, maybe he's going to go to PSG, maybe he's going to go to Bundesliga, who knows. But I honestly don't think he's going to leave if it's not Real Madrid, because he has talked about this in the past before as well. Eden Hazard has always said, my dream is to play for Real Madrid. Even when he was at Chelsea, I remember a few seasons ago when he was a Chelsea player, and he even said on Chelsea TV, I think, you know, I hope to play for Real Madrid in the future, which was kind of weird to hear him saying that on Chelsea TV. But he has said that, I do remember that. And I don't think he's going to leave now, which is great news for us. But also, last transfer window, last transfer talk, I talked about a potential swap between Gareth Bale and Eden Hazard. And I asked for your opinions on it, and I got some great responses, had some great conversations with you guys, so thank you for that. Be sure to get involved in today's video as well. But if Eden Hazard doesn't go to Real Madrid, there is absolutely no way that that Gareth Bale is going to come to Chelsea. So it seems, in my opinion, and this is just speculation purely based on my intuition, based on my thinking and reasoning, I don't think Eden Hazard is going to move to Real Madrid, and I don't think Gareth Bale is going to move anywhere. I think he will stay at Real Madrid, because Real Madrid, if they have a transfer ban, they're not going to be able to bring in replacements for Bale, so they're not going to, you know, be willing to let Bale leave, if you get my gist. So there's that. And yeah, so I guess, you know, last week's video I talked about Bale and Hazard swapping, but I don't think that's going to happen, so that's a dilemma that we don't have to think about, I guess. So in a way, I'm happy about this. I'm sure some of you who preferred Bale might be a bit, you know, but I think on the whole, most Chelsea fans will be happy about this, because we love Hazard. We just love Hazard. And I said this in the comment section of the other video, but I just want to say this on video. I think when Eden Hazard gets back to his best, he will really be up there with the best of the best. And I honestly think that during his lifetime, he will receive at least one Ballon d'Or nomination, and he might even win one. And I sound completely crazy, I know that. I know that, but you'll be amazed at how quickly things can change in football. And if anything in the last, you know, 5 or 6, 7 seasons of watching football has taught me, if there's one thing that has taught me, is that things can change very quickly. Players go down and up and down and up, and players can get out of dips, you know, in the space of a second, in the space of a game, in the space of a week. So I think when he does get back to his best, you know, everything will be great again. But it's a question of when will he get back to his best, and that's what all Chelsea fans are itching to know and itching to find out. But there's that. And now finally, let's get into some rumors. And this is kind of an extension of what I've been talking about for the last week or two. And it's about Alex Texeira. He's been heavily linked with Chelsea. And I think if there's any player that's going to sign for Chelsea this transfer window, it's going to be Texeira. He's being linked the heaviest, if that's a word, which I'm pretty sure it's not. He's been linked like literally every day by so many different sources. And at this point, it's almost official, but it's not official, of course, because Chelsea haven't announced anything. But according to the Telegraph, which is a very reliable source, Blues are planning to offer Texeira a contract, and of course he is a central attacking midfielder playing for Shakhtar, and he's got a crazy record this season, scoring like 26 goals in 26 games or something crazy like that, and he's being reported for around £30 million. So, you know, I've said this before, so I won't really, you know, ramble about this too long. I hope he comes. Let's just leave it at that. And I hope this happens sooner rather than later, because we are halfway into the transfer window, and I'm aware that we haven't made any signings yet. And I'm actually quite surprised, because I thought we would have made at least one signing by now, or at least one transfer, whether it's selling someone. But we haven't really had any activity, so I'm quite surprised, I have to say that. But I'm sure Alex Texeira will go through. But another player that we're being kind of linked with, let me just scroll down slightly, there we go, is, it doesn't say in the headline, but if you can read that, which I'm pretty sure you can't, or if you can see the picture, it's Antoine Griezmann, and we're not really being linked to him, which is why I'm not going to mention him in the title, but this is worth mentioning, I think, because Chelsea have been chasing Griezmann ever since he was in Real Sociedad, ever since like 2 seasons ago. It's actually crazy, and I just want to make it clear to Chelsea fans, I don't think Chelsea will ever sign Antoine Griezmann. And of course, you know, there's always a possibility. You can't ever rule out anything in football, but I don't see this happening. And what's happened in this week has just kind of amplified that. What's that? Atletico Madrid has this week increased Griezmann's release clause, is that the word? I don't even, yeah, buyout clause to £75 million. Previously, I believe it was something around 55 to 60 million pounds, and so they've increased it, which shows, firstly, Griezmann's commitment at Atletico Madrid, shows Atletico Madrid's, you know, care for Griezmann. They show that they clearly value the player very, very highly. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But of course, this is a very interesting article actually in terms of how they phrase it. At least they sign guys, I don't know how to speak English. It says Chelsea face £75 million battle to sign Eden Hazard replacement. So this article is under the influence that Eden Hazard might be leaving. It's under that kind of, you know, presumption. And as I said, I don't think Eden Hazard will be leaving. So maybe this, you know, this whole thing is just not gonna happen. As I said, I don't think Hazard's gonna leave. I don't think Griezmann's gonna join. So there's my views on that. But of course, if he did join, I would not complain because he is a sensational player. And next story is kind of interesting and something that's just popped up this week that hasn't really been reported at all over the last few weeks. And that's Toni Kroos of Real Madrid. And I know I'm saying it really weirdly, but just forgive me. just forgive me on this one video. But Toni Kroos, Real Madrid are apparently linked with selling to Chelsea. Apparently Kroos isn't happy with his playing time at Madrid. Of course, they have James Rodriguez, they have Isco, they have Modric, they have a lot of central midfielders, a lot of heavy competition in that position. And maybe he fancies a move to the Premier League. And of course, I think it was this summer or the summer before that he was linked with Manchester United. Of course, that didn't go through. He was linked for around £40 million, and he's linked for around a similar price now as well, £40 million, but linked to Chelsea. That was a weird voice. But as I said, Real Madrid has been hit with a transfer ban, so that kind of reduces the possibility of Real Madrid selling any players over the next season or so. So, you know, maybe this isn't very possible, but Toni Kroos, I have to say this, is a player that I absolutely admire. I love the guy. I've wanted this guy at Chelsea since, you know, literally 2 seasons ago. Because the way he plays, I think it suits Chelsea very, very well. And I just love him as a player. His shots are brilliant, his passing is insane. And he's just an insane player. Ever since his Bayern Munich days, I've absolutely loved this guy. I would love for Chelsea to sign him. But we have to remember this. we're being linked with Alex Texeira. So if we do sign Alex Texeira, we're gonna have him, Oscar, Pedro, Hazard, Willian, and then to add Toni Kroos into that equation, I think it's gonna completely congest that attacking midfield kind of 3 behind the striker area position, and it would just be, you know, too much competition almost, and I don't think it's gonna work out. So I don't see this deal happening, unfortunately. But it is a deal being reported, so I thought I'd mention it to you guys. And it's being reported by The Guardian, which is regarded as one of the more reliable sources. So just take, you know, interpret what you will from this article. And as I said, you can go read about it below as well if you want to know more in depth into it. Another striker being, one striker being reported to join Chelsea is Alexandre Pato. He's been linked with Chelsea for a few months actually. I think he was linked in the January window as well to join as kind of like a backup instead of Falcao, but of course Falcao signed, so there was no space for Pato. But apparently he's being linked with Chelsea and Liverpool, but the agent has come out and said that he would prefer a move to Chelsea. His price is being linked with around £11 million. And what is my verdict on this? I don't want this to happen, first of all. I don't think he is, you know, the caliber of player that Chelsea are looking for. And I don't think that Chelsea will sign him. I don't think this is very probable at all. I just don't see it happening. But yes, I won't really talk about it too much. I won't really dwell on it. But it is being reported. So as I said, if it becomes reported, I bring it to you. That is my job in Transfer Talk. So there's that. But you know, there are lots of strikers actually this week being reported to Chelsea. And I said this before as well in my very first winter transfer window wish list video, saying that I want strikers. That should be the #1 area that we invest in this window. And apparently Gus Hiddink has watched my video because we're being linked with a lot of strikers. And another one is Carlos Bacca, who's currently playing in the Serie A, and he is playing with AC Milan. But the thing is, he's quite old. He is 29 years old. He is, you know, getting up there. He is still a great player, by the way. He scored a lot of goals. Let me just see if I can quickly scan. Actually, he hasn't scored too many. He scored 8 goals in 19 games so far in the season. Not bad, not too good actually, but kind of in there. Maybe he could be a good backup to Diego Costa. He's a very physical player, very good in the air. So maybe you could say he kind of fits Chelsea style play. He can hold up the play a lot. Kind of like Drogba-esque or Costa-esque in that sense, you could say. But my verdict on this is that, you know, to be honest, I wouldn't mind having him at Chelsea as a backup striker. I know he's old, but I think maybe for the next two or three seasons, just to have him in that backup role wouldn't be too bad actually, because he is a good player. He is a decent player. He's a physical player, as I said. And I think Chelsea are missing that physicality that we've had in the past. You know, we've had so many physical, strong players like Essien, Drogba, Lampard even to an extent, Malouda, Kalou, Anelka. You know, we've had crazy and strong, very passionate players in the past. And I think Carlos Bacca could kind of add that. But to be honest, I don't really see this happening. I just don't see Chelsea investing in an old player who hasn't really been tested in the top teams, who hasn't been tested in the Champions League too much, and yeah, I just don't think it's gonna come through. But do not fear, there is another striker being reported for Chelsea, and I'm sure you guys know him very closely. His name is Emmanuel Adebayor, former Tottenham player, former Arsenal player, former just any team player. He's played in so many clubs, it's unreal. And he is actually quite interesting because he is actually a free transfer right now. He is not in any team currently, if I understand this correctly. So if Chelsea do decide to go for him, it would be on a free transfer. We'd only have to pay his wages. And I personally, then this could be very controversial because of this player's history, because of his, you know, club history, you could say. But I think from a practical perspective, as a short-term backup, he would be perfect. Because firstly, as I said, it's a free transfer. Secondly, he brings strength, he brings aerial threat, he brings a lot of power into the team, and he is a good player. He's been tested in the Premier League. We know that he he can be a good player. And thirdly, you know, we can just sign him for like 1 year and let him go, you know, next season. It's as simple as that. We can have him as a short-term temporary fix, which is for me the big appeal. And he is being linked by many news outlets. So you know, there is a high chance of this being true. And I personally I actually want to see this deal happening. And I, to be honest, wouldn't be too surprised if this deal does happen. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans will be saying, "Oh, we don't want a Tottenham player to join us." That was a terrible accent, but you know. But I think, for practical reasons, he would be a very great player to sign. But as I said, as of any controversial transfers or anything you want to comment about, tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would be glad to discuss it with you in more depth. And there's before you guys go, one more transfer. What's the word? Gossip? Oh my god, I suck at video making. One more transfer rumor, that's the word, for Chelsea, and he is Berahino. And of course, we actually played against him in West Brom. Actually, we played him at Chelsea, but against West Brom, if you get my gist. And he didn't actually play too well. I thought he looked below average, to be honest. But you know, we are being linked with him. Of course, there was that big scandal with him and with his Twitter and crazy stuff happening over the summer, which is why they blocked his transfer. And you know, he was meant to go to Tottenham, blah, but he didn't. He's still at West Brom, and he is looking to move. And Chelsea are looking to buy strikers. And Chelsea, as you may know from the whole John Stones thing, Chelsea like English players. Chelsea want homegrown players, and maybe that could be the appeal for Berahino. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind this too much as well, because he may not be world class, but we know that he's got talent. We know that he can be very good, if he's on form. And I think he'd be great to have as a backup to Diego Costa. Imagine having a strike force of Costa, Berahino, Loic Remy, and Falcao maybe. I don't know. I think Berahino and Costa would be very good to have, you know, at least until the end of the season, and then we can see where we go from there. We can see the players form from there. So I personally wouldn't, you know, be too angry. Or actually, I'd be welcoming to see Berahino join Chelsea, to be honest. So that's my thought on that. I hope you guys tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below as well. And guys, that's actually it for today. That's all the rumors. As I said, everything linked in the description down below. But something that you may have noticed today is that Chelsea players haven't been linked with leaving Chelsea, which is quite strange as a trend, because I remember before the transfer window opened, every Chelsea player was linked with a move away. Oscar was meant to go to Inter or Juventus. Matic and Ramirez were meant to go to Inter. Fabregas was meant to go to Serie A as well. Diego Costa was looking to go to Atletico Madrid. You know, everyone was looking to leave Chelsea, and there were so many rumors about that. But now there is literally none, because I think it's as Chelsea are playing better and better. Chelsea players are kind of realizing, hey, this is a good club. This is a great club. They're kind of, you know, getting their feet back on the ground and thinking, wow, why would I leave this club? And they're getting a bit more secure in the club, which is kind of drawing away the interest from other clubs. And I think that's a very good thing, because I honestly love every player that we have. You know, snakes or not snakes, or you know, whatever you want to label them. I love all of our players. And I would be heartbroken to see any of them leave, to be honest. So, you know, that's it for today, guys. I've rounded up all the rumors, and I've never been good at ending videos. So what I will say is, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below to discuss some interesting things with me or whatever. That's been Transfer Talk for this week. I'll see you guys next week, and until then, stay blue.